If you're tired of hearing the right is crazy when it's the left gunning people down. If you've grown weary of hearing white folks are bad and they're abusing the blacks and browns. If you're tired of listening to the media lies, it's time to wake up, patriot, and open others' eyes. Wake up, patriots, and grab your gun. Let's stand our ground, let's have some fun. It's time to remove the crazies, hop the phone crack. It's time to all stand up and take our nation back. If it makes you mad, they block to stop the steal, where Republicans are the majority, but still they fail. Then might I suggest you get off your duff and put an end to this leftist stuff. Cause they're only winning when we have no voice. It's time to rise up and make some noise. We need an FBI that can be trusted. It's time the whole Obama crowd all gets busted. Wake up, patriots, and grab your gun. Let's stand our ground, let's have some fun. It's time to remove the crazies, hop the phone crack. It's time to all stand up and take our nation back. Yeah, with George and Trixie, Sean and Mark on Wake Up Patriots or Patriots After Dark. While you're listening there, you will have some fun, but you'll also learn how to get it done. Just read the comments, meet some friends, cause we've got a battle going on. Wake up, patriots, and grab your gun. Let's stand our ground, let's have some fun. It's time to remove the crazies, hop the phone crack. It's time to all stand up and take our nation back. Don't just stand there and watch the nation tumble. Go to Wake Up Patriots, it's there on Rumble, and maybe toss some change in the cup. And don't forget to give a big thumbs
up for Wake Up Patriots.
So wake up, patriots, and get her done. Do it for your daughter, do it for your son. It's for our kids, we must turn things back. It's time for action and not just smack. Oh! It's time for action and not.
Ooh, happy Wormhole Wednesday. And there's George.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah. Is it a good morning? I've seen the weather reports for part of the country.
It's really good raining. Talk about 40 days and 40 nights. I think we're doing it.
Yeah. Lots of rain. And let's see, by my house, not good. Tammy, she lives west of me, and she said they're still cleaning up tree limbs and everything from last week, Wednesday. It looks like it's going to be, might be some totos flying in the air later in Indiana.
Yeah, good with Tracy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it looks pretty. Well, the mayor of Monticello came out and made a whole statement about be prepared for all scenarios. And in 1974, the town I live in was totally wiped out by tornadoes that came through. So
I see you're ready. You rolled up your sleeves. I'll tell you, that was impressive.
Yeah. I think your feed's just a little bit off. You're having a little bit of lag in there, George.
I'm reading the comments.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to read the prayer so I can get into it because I'm working off my phone. I don't have my second laptop, so let's go. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. And that's Psalm 46:10. And that's directed definitely right at the left because we all know why. They're godless people sometimes. And let's do our pledge. Ready?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There. Now I can bring up.
Now it's official.
Yeah, now it's official. Now we really started instead of yakking about everything else. I want to get comments there.
Well, President Trump looked very perky at the G7 summit there. He's supposed to have a press conference at 4:00 today. So I think people are afraid of him because of the way he bombed the shit out of Iran. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to get that uranium either way. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oil went down to $76 a barrel. Went down $20. So.
Well. No, but I see in the chat they were talking about Vance. Well, if you looked at the thumbnail today, guess what our subject is for a lot of today? It's Vance. And I think I think he was really great. I think he was really great yesterday with everything he was doing.
Yep.
Well, yeah. What was he? He was on The View. He was on The Five. He was on Gutfeld last night. He was just making the rounds.
He did pretty good on Gutfeld. It's terrible effort on that one. Because he came out with some Gutfeld is great. He comes out with some lines and stuff that he actually had a what's his name? Vice President Vance blushed, turned red in the face. Is that it? Hello, Whiskey Tango. Good morning. Fly Clouder, Red Jenna. Good morning to you. America Mohawk, Yogi. Hey, where's that Audie Bull? I haven't seen him yesterday. What up?
I don't know with his daughter. He hasn't been in.
Hope everything's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Red's having problems with her internet.
Yeah.
I'm just sick of rain. That's what I'll
inside myself.
Yeah.
I do that all the time inside. I talk to myself inside. You see.
I talk to myself inside all the time because there's two of me.
I tell you. Sony Bunny. You know, that reminds you, I don't know if that's a woman, it'd be a Playboy Bunny name.
I don't know.
Is that a woman? Sunny Bunny?
I didn't think so, but maybe. I thought Sonny was a guy. But I don't know, Sonny. It's a mystery. Maybe that's what we should do for the wormhole. Anyways, what I'm going to do for the wormhole today, just give everybody time to think about it. We're going to do some other stuff, and then about 9:15, we'll do wormhole. But let's do open wormhole. You guys in the chat, figure out if she's a woman. Sunny Bunny's a woman, so there's the mystery.
I know it. I know that's a Playboy Bunny name. Dancing Banana. I am a woman dancing banana.
So for wormhole, you guys in the chat, go ahead and think of what you want to talk about and throw it in there before 9:15. And we're going to do open wormhole. Either you can put questions in, or you can throw a subject in there, and we'll go off of that. And that's going to test and see how much we know. I think
There's so much stuff on TikTok and stuff that they're bringing up between. You know what's funny is that all about the solar farms and all about the windmills past history. Now the main issue is the AI, which people don't understand. You're not going to get away from that. It doesn't matter. You could protest all you want, but it's going to happen. That's what the sad part is. They're going to put them in because they got to beat China.
Yeah, because what happens if the land developers, if the farmers won't sell, the land developers go in and scoop it up and then turn around and sell to them. So either way,
they could do that thing, domain. So they, they could.
Sonny was her husband's nickname and Bunny is hers, so she put them together. I'm
Oh, that's
sorry.
cute.
I'm sorry your husband passed.
Yeah. Sorry about that. But that's a pretty name. I'm telling you. That'd be Playboy Bunny stuff, I tell you.
You know, I used to have a Playboy Bunny's car. I had an old.
How about you?
I did. My dad got it for me. It was.
Come out with the story.
Huh? It was just an added. I don't know.
Put a shot in my head from this light.
Yeah. That's the light of God on you.
Yeah.
You need it sometimes. Why don't they use headlights? I don't know.
Bunny. Everybody's gonna take over that name now, Bunny. Who's gonna say Honey Bunny, My Bunny, Everybody's Bunny?
Everybody's funny. Oh.
Anyway, the weather here sucks. It's constantly riding in the rain for like 6 hours yesterday. So we had rain gear, but the rain gear just sucks. It's the worst fucking rain. I had rain gear before. I gave it
It was
to Alan.
Chinese rain gear.
Yeah. Well, no, I gave the good one to Alan. What a mistake that was. So I bought a new one, and I got to buy another one because this here is going to go in the garbage.
All I can say was I saw my life flash before my eyes when the lady almost sideswiped us in Atlanta.
Well, she apologized, but I think she heard me.
I think everybody on 75 heard you. It was terrible.
I got my Bantam. I'll take it right out, pop it out, and smash the effing window. They don't do that to me. Cut me off like that. She would have woke up quick.
It was scary.
Got that Bantam on the bike.
All I can say is I was hanging on. It's like,
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yes, we are. Hey, how's everybody's opinion? Does everybody like Trixie's hair up? Or do they like it down? It's a wormhole. Hey, listen, I want to bring up something. Everybody should think about this one. This is a good wormhole. What about these guys that try to take down the 250 that they found out they're like majority white people and all that stuff, and that they would have come in with air drones and drop bombs and have snipers waiting for the people to come out of the crowd. So what I was thinking of, maybe that could have been a plan of the Southern Poverty Law Group. Remember, they were spending money to all these Nazi groups and everything else like that? And a couple of them, believe it or not, a couple of them were military.
yeah. I think that is a really good supposition or hypothesis.
Yeah, well, the whole thing is that they found out about it on June 1st. So they're working on it to get off. They have a separate chat that's encrypted that they couldn't find out what they were talking about. They started on TikTok. That's how they started. And what happened was, I don't know what group they are from, but I'm pretty sure it's the groups on the left. There were a couple of military, supposedly, and they had training. They went down to, I believe, Mexico to learn how to shoot and stuff like that. So there was a lot of money behind this. It could be also I might get in trouble for this one, can't independent at all. Get the initials of that one?
Yes, I did.
So, well, yeah, the parents, in fact, the parents, that's true, the parents, the mother turned them in, which was great. I mean, it's this, she should get a medal for that one, for turning them kids in. Because they would, and one thing I want to tell everybody, it's very important. If you ever see an explosion, all right, go like not too far away from it and run the other way. If you run the other way, that's where the setup is to kill more people. That's how they plan things. And that's intelligence. That's fact. Even General Clinton said that too. So that's why it's very important to see where the terrorist attack begins and which way you're going to run. I guess when the planes hit, the first plane didn't know hit. But when the second plane hit, people ran, but everybody ran different directions.
Yeah.
And that was in New York City. New York City's big, so it was just a precaution thing that everybody should do. Yeah, I know they own Facebook and Instagram.
Well, you were talking about the data centers though too. China is putting some of them underwater on the ocean floor.
Yeah. So they
can use the cooling. Yeah, and I don't know why the United States doesn't do this shit. I don't know why.
You got the people. China doesn't care. You got people here that complain about anything. They'll go underwater and pollute the water and the fish and everything else. So can't win.
Red, George is glitching a little bit. I'm not, so I don't know if it's your internet.
My signal's strong.
I know on my end it's showing you glitch just a little bit, but not bad.
You want me to go out and then let me go back in now? Let me sign out and then come back in.
Okay, you can try that. So he left me alone. Oh my God. So anyways, I thought that wormhole thing's a good idea. So you guys got to come up with stuff. I had something about the Kentucky caves, but then I remembered everybody saying about how they hated the English narration. So I really didn't want to play it unless you guys want me to play that. But other than that, it would be like an open wormhole. We can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. There's so much stuff out there that you can talk about. I'm not kidding. Oh, there we go. Hello.
Is that better?
No, you're not even moving now. Now you are. You were.
I was standing still. I wasn't moving.
Oh, well then maybe that's what it is then. I don't know. Anyways, so we were talking about Vance and everything. He made a couple different trips. He was on the View, he was on Gutfeld, and he was on the 5 yesterday. And I'm going to start out with the View. Please don't spew your breakfast, but it's pretty good. He does, and they're short clips.
Next question. Okay, so in the book, Mr. Vice President, you make a mea culpa of sorts for calling Democrats childless cat ladies.
Oh, man.
Okay.
My most boneheaded comment.
You say that in the book, that it was boneheaded, which it was.
Thank you.
What were you thinking when you said that?
So Joy said when we were off air that I'm fine, which I think is about the best endorsement that I'm going to get out of Joy Behar for a Republican. Thank you. I appreciate that. Graded on a curve here at The View. But, I guess one of the things that I try to do, and I'm always, all of us are always learning. You said you were a lapsed Catholic. I'm a bad Catholic. I think all of us, that's why we need grace as Christians, is because we recognize that there are certain things we got to work on.
Right.
But here's what I'd say about that. So did that comment actually shed light on something and start a discussion, or did it just close people down? And when I make a comment that just closes people down, instead of trying to appreciate the point that I make, that's a mistake, right? And that's on me to do better.
Okay,
because can I just say, the point that I'd say on that, Joy, is I do think, in a very subtle sometimes in a more profound way, I think our country has become more anti-family and more anti-child. It's harder to travel. It's harder to go to a restaurant.
Mr. Vice President, your grandchild is arriving.
No grandbabies yet.
Not yet. We're very excited for you and Usha, and we wanted to give you a view once.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
We will put this on. We'll send you guys a photo.
I liked how he handled Joy Behar and squealed on her about what she said off the air. And I know everybody hates watching The View. There's one more clip of The View, and it's a good slam. But I think Vance did a wonderful job.
He's going to use that shirt as a diaper. They gave him the View shirt. They gave him a View shirt for the baby.
Yeah, I wouldn't put that onesie on a baby. No way.
No, he'll use it for a diaper. That's what it's doing.
Yeah, she is a hateful, stupid bitch. Hey, guess what?
Good morning. Good morning.
Hello.
How's everybody doing?
Hey, what's going on? I wish I had
Some good clips of JD in enemy territory yesterday, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a couple of them. I got that one, and I got 2 more. If you looked at the thumbnail today, It's Whoopi and Joy making
great.
yeah.
Today with that. That's awesome.
Yeah, they gave him a View shirt, the onesie View shirt to the Vance's baby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Vance probably should walk down and threw it out once he walked out.
No, I don't think he threw it out. I think he'll keep it, use it as a diaper for the baby. Like the kid take a first shit in it.
Oh, I've always loved Vance from the time I read that Hillbilly Effigy and stuff. I followed him and everything.
It was a good movie too. It was very good. You went through a lot.
I read the book and saw the movie, and after that, it was like that's the guy. And then he ended up, from Senate to where he went and everything. But he had
a big fight for the Senate because I told you, like when I did that, I was a speaker at a Ohio dinner, and he was there. Vance there, and there was another guy that was a Marine. And,
Vance is so good. Vance is so good. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Vance is so good with people that are disagreeable to him. To like, if anybody wants to see how to talk to people that disagree with you, JD Vance is a master classman at it. I mean, he really is. People talk about Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio isn't as good as Vance is on that stuff. And
I agree.
He meets those people, and it almost like he pulls them into him and calms them down so he could put his point. Even on The View, when they had 4 people and one person says something, and as he's saying something, then the other one chimes in and has to say something. He actually, I mean, they're programmed to make their point and kind of make it stick. But he did a good job with all of them, even though they did what they did with them. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's
Vance reminded him about Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
What's that, George?
USA said JD Vance reminds NE of Charlie Kirk.
Well, here's him with Anna Navarro, and I know everybody hates Anna Navarro, but he handled her like a boss.
Who used to work and be my colleague that have tried to find evidence of that. There is no evidence that Maduro was releasing people from insane asylums or jails like Fidel Castro did do. This was made up. And we just can't, accept it without pushing back.
Anna, we know that there were people who were released from prisons who were encouraged to come into the United States.
It wasn't like it was in the Mariel, Mr. Vice President. It wasn't where it was like a purposeful release, open up the jails, open up the insane asylums, and let people flood Florida. I've been through that in Miami.
If you go, it may not have been like Mariel, but if you go back to the caravans that were happening in 22, 23, we know that those things were funded. They were in some ways supported by the government.
There was absolutely
so I don't know how you define support or not support, but if people are encouraged to come into our country after having spent time in prison by their own governments, I think.
She's a moron. All these gangs that came here from there, Treyagarago, whatever the fuck that place is, right? Mm-hmm. Right? They're the ones that they created in Venezuela. They're all in jail. And supposedly Biden made a call to what's his name, tell them to give us their voice, and they did. Because they wanted to disrupt the thing. They wanted the drugs to come in here to control everybody. They wanted them to come in to disrupt our patriotism and stuff. So look at all the people they killed. How many people they killed and robbed and everything else. That was, and this actually makes sense. That asshole, Rich, what she is, unbelievable.
Yeah, that's why I showed it, because I know everybody hates The View, but he did a really good job with them guys on The View. He really did. I mean, because they're toxic.
Well, he went on there because he knew how, like Sean said, he knew how to handle these people, and that's why he went on there, because he knows he could handle anything that's thrown at him. Because of the intelligence,
even handled Jessica on the 5.
Oh, that's my next clip.
Beautiful.
I handled all the bitches from yesterday.
He was on Getfield last night, and Getfield came out.
Yeah.
I missed.
I wish I could get that clip.
Did you see the picture
and he turned red in the face? What?
Did you see the picture I sent you last night?
Oh, you sent me. Sorry, look. You're looking at.
What's the matter with
you? I don't know. He doesn't.
What, text?
Yeah.
Oh, middle-aged guy. Yeah, he gets all that free Botox and shit.
I was with Dr. Mike. I was with
Yeah,
Dr.
no,
Mike.
Oh,
all the Botox he's got on his face. The guy's high cheekbones.
I was getting corrected.
Oh, yeah.
I was getting corrected by Dr. Mike last night.
Oh, that's funny.
I texted him something and I said, how do you grade it? First he gave me an A-, and then he came back and says, wait a minute, you have an extra space there. He gave me a B-, I think it was. I said, at least I'm a C, I told him. Above a C.
I got you.
Oh, what's the background noise?
I just muted George. I thought that's what
George's
it was.
background noise. Good job, George.
Yeah. If I mute you, we don't have background noise, George. I don't know.
Well, there's a pool here, not far from here, where the room I'm in.
Oh, what?
There's a pool. There's a
pool.
I can move if it's a problem.
Yeah.
You don't have your phone on, right?
I think he's got his phone on and he's got the volume up.
No, I don't have the phone on.
Okay, well, we're getting feed for something. I don't know. But anyway, you did that with Dr. Mike yesterday. You know what I did yesterday? I'll show you.
What's that? Little Bucky had a handful.
I've always wanted to do that after seeing those on TikTok, you know. So I was like, I did it. But he had little T-Rex arms, so I couldn't like lay all the way out.
Yeah,
I was like,
Bucky had his hand right on your ass. You all saw that. And you were smiling.
That's why he's always smiling.
Yeah, that's why she was smiling.
Yeah.
He was.
Well,
where was that?
I don't know. It was someplace.
Kentucky, maybe? I don't.
Nah, it wasn't
Georgia. I don't know.
Yeah, beginning of Georgia.
It was somewhere. It was somewhere, Scott. I don't know. I don't know.
It rained for 6 hours, so.
Huh?
It rained?
I said to show we were in the rain for 5 hours.
Oh wow, we riding.
Those are so wet this morning.
Yeah, clothes are still wet.
It was bad. It wasn't nice. It was not nice.
No.
Wasn't it? Well, anyways, let's go. I want to show Vance getting a hold of Jessica Tarloff because he, like you said, he did a good job, Sean.
What do you make? And some of it is obviously partisan. That when your party's out of power, you have less pride in the country. But what do you make of this huge drop off?
So Jessica, I don't think that's right. Why does that need to be true that if your party's out of power, you should have less pride in your country? Like, I guarantee that when Barack Obama was president or Joe Biden was pretending to be president, that you had Republicans who still said they're proud of America. They're proud of our military. They're proud of the great people of our country. They're proud of our natural beauty. Like it says, I think 29% of Americans or of Democrats are proud of their country. I assume that includes you, even though you disagree with the president administration. So what seems to me so bizarre about this is that we've allowed a culture to develop where people feel like the country is the country's politics. And I think it's actually connected to the violent rhetoric, where if you disagree with somebody, you can justify killing them. It's really, really a bad thing. I wish Democrats, all of them, were proud of our country. We should be proud of our country.
Greg.
Yep. You know what's funny? What you said? What you said about Obama? Go ahead. No, I was saying the time.
John.
Hold on. Wait. Here we go.
Just kidding.
Just kidding. I didn't even hear what you said.
I went like this.
Oh, that's why I didn't hear what you said.
No, but yeah, I mean, we're all proud of our country. We may not like who's in charge, right? But we're all proud of our country. We're all proud of where we live. I think it was yesterday when, or at least a couple of days ago, when Obama was president, and we got what's his name with Bin Laden. Everybody was happy. Everybody celebrated.
Yes,
right? It wasn't like, oh God, but Obama got him. We were all happy. So
you just don't want it. Anyway, when they say about they said about not being patriotic, don't forget during Obama administration that they started the Tea Party.
Yeah.
And that was big. that was big. They were terrified of the Tea Party because it was all just it wasn't called MAGA then, but it's the same amount of people that was in MAGA that was in that Tea Party, and they did everything else. And don't forget, during the Obama administration, when about the fuel and everything else, the truckers all took a ride over to Washington D.C. and closed it all up. So talk about patriotic. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that people put together, you know?
Yeah.
I think the freedom, what they're doing this year for the Freedom 250, the Democrats can't be excited about anything that's good for our country. I mean, back when they did the bicentennial in 1976, it was way different than what it is now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, everything, all the commercials were patriotic. All the ads that you saw in magazines, you know, that's dating ourselves because magazines and everything. But it was all like that, you know. And now it's like if a left was going to praise the United States, I'd probably crap my pants because they're just so hateful. It was never like this, and I don't understand why people are like that. I mean, was it the education system that did it, or was it media, or was it a combination of both? You know,
definitely a combination of both. I mean, you look at James O'Keefe just came out with a video about New Jersey Antifa. They kind of, with all this Delaney Hall stuff and all, they put some of the people they identified through these chats of some of these people that are involved with stuff. People at Rutgers University, high people at Rutgers University, high people in different organizations. It's actually, you know, people that ran for Congress in Antifa. It's actually, you know, you think about it, that the hateful rhetoric of America, scary where they're rooting into.
Yeah, I'm blaming the education system for a lot of it, especially since the what is it, the teachers union and everything, they all went so far left, and then when they took civics and everything out of school, I think that did a lot of it because kids they have no reason to be proud of America if they're not teaching any of that in school.
How many parents you hear their kids go away to school and they go away to school and they come back a different person, hating America and everything else? And now it's not just college. Now it's going on in high school. You know, before it used to be college. You send your kid to college, they come back a liberal. Now they come back. Now before they even go to college, they're made a liberal from high school or even middle school.
I would say middle school. Seriously, I would totally agree with that one. You know, because I remember in middle school being taught history, and then in high school doing the civics and everything. And I don't think they don't teach 9/11. All right,
for a swim in the pool.
Probably.
Look at the video we showed yesterday with the little Axl, the little mini Axl Rose lookalike, the kid in California giving the double birds to those people, calling them fascists and Nazis and everything else. These are obviously kids in elementary school. Where are they learning that from? Can you imagine how they're going to be? Look how vocal he is as a, I don't know, what's he, 10 years old, 8 years old? Can you imagine how vocal he's going to be at 15 and 18? And, you know, that's just going to get worse.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, I couldn't imagine you know, just as an example, my 3 kids, they're all, I'm not going to tell you how old they are, but they're older. So they are staunch Republicans, believe it or not. And I grew up down by Detroit, but in Traverse City, Michigan. And that's one of the biggest liberal areas you'd ever see. They were painting the gay rainbows on the street walks and all that. I mean, between Saugatuck, Michigan and Traverse City, that's gay central for a lot of areas and everything. And you would think with them going to school and stuff over there, and then I homeschooled them towards graduation, but they picked up on the conservative values and everything. And it was only because, you know, of me and then part of my family. You know, we were all like, my dad was a really good conservative too. So, and my dad had a good influence on them. So I was lucky because a lot of their friends are like flaming libs. One of my best friends, I've known her since I was 15 years old. She hates Trump. It doesn't matter what he does, what he says or anything. And I think like she is, I want to say typical of a leftist where they cannot take a win and attribute it to Trump or be happy for the country. They want to see total destruction and see him gone. I just don't get it.
Yeah. Oh, they're brutal. They can't even understand, like, if it, like I said, when Bin Laden got killed, or killed, who knows, like George says, he could be still alive, but when he got taken, we cheered. Republicans, Democrats, everybody alike. They can't do that. They can't do that. They can't give Trump a win on anything. If Trump cured cancer, they would bitch about it.
Yeah, because Big Pharma would lose money. Oh my God, Big Pharma's going to go under, and we won't be able to get any of our meds then because of that. I could see that happening. Seriously, yeah. What you're saying?
Look at the Trump accounts that they just get for people with kids. I wonder if some of these liberals won't even sign their kids up for Trump accounts because they don't want their kid to have money with the Trump name attached to it.
Ugh. I wouldn't be surprised. And just like what we were talking about before, remember when George said the passports are going to come out with Trump on them?
Yeah.
They're going to be so pissed. And then
people want to leave the country if they need a passport and you got Trump on it. That would be funny.
I think so too. It's gotten to the point where I'm not even mad about it anymore. I think it's comical because these people are so lost and they're so crazy. And we talk about TDS. I mean, we used to joke and say, oh, it's getting lethal and we need to build TDS centers. But man, now it's not a joke no more. It's like these people
are nuts.
Yeah. I have never seen, in my lifetime, probably you probably say the same thing, seen society so divided over politics. Maybe in the 60s during civil rights, but then that was more of a race issue than politics. But this is just straight politics that everybody's freaking out about.
Yeah. I don't know. Politics is in everything. It really is. Really is anymore. It's in everything.
Yeah, I think it's sad, though. I think it's sad that some people have so much cognitive dissonance that they can't see the nose in front of their face. It's just crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. Oh, look, George. Oh, he moved. Oh, hello.
Yeah, you won't hear the background noise then.
Would you beat the guy up?
The lunchroom, the cafeteria, they finish at 9:00. So
there you go. Is there a waffle machine around you anywhere?
Who?
A waffle machine?
Yep, it's right there.
There you go. See that, Mark? You're missing. Should be with George.
Yeah.
It is.
There you go. See that, Mark?
That's a big breakfast area.
Yeah.
Oh, you did a nice job here. They even put, if you miss, they put a bowl here with muffins in it just in case. They should have a Anyway.
I don't know. I didn't go downstairs, so I don't know.
I can't understand what he's saying.
I can understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. So we were talking about Vance. What else were we talking about? We talked about, we don't want to talk about your desk. Hello, George.
Okay.
Glad you got pants on, George. If you did the thing around, that would have been a little scary.
George, the pants are wet.
Is your clothes dried out yet or no?
Mm.
No?
Got them to the dryer.
No.
5.5 hours in the rain. It was like, didn't stop.
It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. I don't complain.
The problem is the rain gear sucked. I got to get new rain gear. This rain gear is good for the summer. I was telling Trixie that I gave my rain gear to Alan and I bought new ones, so I should have kept the old one I had. They were great. But that's the way that goes.
Yeah. Well,
that's the way it goes.
You only hide under a bridge for so long, right? In the rain, if you stop under a bridge, you
don't want to do that in some places when it's like this big and the semis are doing like 75 past you. No. So Red is saying,
hey, Rodney Bull is back. Hey, Rodney Bull, how you doing, brother? Good to see you. I missed you yesterday. Was he here yesterday?
No, I didn't yesterday.
Are you getting ready to say about what Red Ginger said about Jonathan Turley?
Yeah, that there's a lawsuit to not teach civics. That's crazy.
You could see that happening. They don't want They don't want you to be proud of your country.
Nope.
No, they don't. So some of the other stuff that was going on, what we got Congress, they're going to be leaving on recess pretty soon. So that, huh?
What else is doing? And guess what? They'll stay back. Toon and Johnson will stay back. So Trump can't pick his, what do you call it? His recess appointments. I'll bet any amount of money they'll do it.
Do what?
Stay back, like they did the last time. So Trump can pick his recess appointments. If they keep it in session.
Congress.
Yeah, Congress. When
They'll
they
gavel
go on
in and out
recess,
just
Trump
for him
can pick
to not do
his
it, right?
things without approval from Congress at all.
Yeah.
I'm frozen now. You frozen.
Who froze?
Everybody's frozen.
Yeah, I think you got bad connections, George, because something's going on.
It's George. It's
What'd
you.
do, George. Did you drop your computer? Is your computer wet?
No, I got a great signal.
I wouldn't be everything's soaked. It sucks. Yeah, but I don't know. I would think they would do that. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody stayed in and gabbled in and out and everything the whole entire time, just so they can't do anything. Because couldn't they slide the SAVE Act through that way too during the recess? Wouldn't they be able to do it?
No, you got to vote on that.
Are you sure? Yeah, but they have to have a court. They have to have a court.
No, it's appointments only. Recess is only appointments only.
Appointments.
Which
Yeah,
will keep it.
nothing for laws.
Toon and Johnson will stay in session. They'll go there with the hammer that they should choke on. Look at it. They got bagels here. Don't eat. Look at it. Don't think.
Hey,
They got eggs. Yeah.
okay. Great.
Anyway.
Yeah. So I'm still waiting for somebody to throw some stuff in the chat about Wormhole Wednesday. So just a reminder there.
Hey, want a wormhole? Listen. Play that video in New York City. The one with the red truck. New York City. Brand new truck. He cut his tires. Look.
What happened there?
He cut his tires. She just went crazy. She cut his tires. The guy ran out of the truck, and then he started scratching the whole car with the knife that she cut the tires with.
That looked like a spurned woman to me.
And most of them are out there. They're all out of their minds. And then there was a rematch at the UFC. Watch that one. That's a good wormhole.
A rematch at the UFC.
The fight. Put the fight up.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Just put the thing up there. There's a video. What do you mean you don't know what the hell I'm talking about? There's a video there on the bottom.
Oh, I didn't see it. Okay.
Well, that's a good.
Michelle Obama is a man!
So there's talk about the Obamas suing him now for that or something. You know?
Yeah, I wonder who's bigger.
So I guess if they sue him, I guess I guess maybe that will get other people to stop saying it. Who knows?
I don't know about that one either. But then there's, how do you say it? Brigitte Macron too.
Yeah, with Candace. Yeah.
But Zelensky was there, but he wasn't there at the when they all met. He left because he was sitting down with the guy from France.
Well,
and,
I seen it. Oh, damn.
What happened?
I was saying I saw a clip yesterday with Brigitte Macron.
Yeah, Macaroni. Yeah, he was there.
Yeah, and Matt Wallace. It was on X, and he was trying to say
he's trying to get more money out of the Europeans.
Yeah, but he was trying to say that it showed a male attachment, but it didn't.
So I think Red Ginger's on to something in the chat. She wants to know why George always relocates to where the food is.
I have no choice in that. It's quiet. It was quiet. Well, it's either that or the machine.
When you're in these situations like you're in now, like these type of areas, you need to have AirPods because they're noise cancellation. So they only have your voice. You wouldn't hear all the other background stuff going on.
Yeah, I know.
I also think George's microphone is picking up our stuff on his laptop. That's the other thing. That's the background noise. That's why if you mute him, you won't hear the background noise.
Well, I'm gonna see if I got my iPad.
You have earbuds? That's what you need. Or AirPods, whatever it is.
Yeah.
If you put them on, I bet you we won't hear any of the background noise and it'll be good. You'll be able to hear us better too, probably.
Mark's suggestion for Wormhole is about Michelle Obama, but I think we've covered that one so many times. I don't think there's anything left to discuss.
You have a wormhole today?
Huh?
You have a wormhole today or no?
Well, yeah. What I did is I have one on the Kentucky caves, but everybody doesn't like listening to the narration on it. But it's all about how the cave system, a guy went down in 1931, went down into the cave system. Remember we were talking about Lookout Mountain? I did that one before. So that whole area, he went down there and he didn't come back for 2 days. And when he came back, he said there were rooms that were still lit up. There was stuff written on the walls and everything. And right after that, the mine company went in there and sealed it all up with cement. Plus, on top of that, they did. Hang on.
Yeah, you got to mute George. Yeah.
Yeah, I did. They did drawings and did a map of when he came out and everything, and they've never released that map. One family in Kentucky has it, and then they still haven't released it. So there's something to all that, because remember we were talking about Andrew Jackson's signature was scrawled into the wall under Lookout Mountain, and it went all the way to Alabama and stuff, that whole thing, and then they sealed all of that stuff off. But I vote for Kentucky Caves. You guys want to see Kentucky Caves or Joan Rivers? Because somebody else is saying, yeah, he found a city underground, RD. That's the whole thing. What they found underground was a city. They found tunnels that went through different states. They found Masonic, what do you want to call it? Paraphernalia. There was what do you call it? An obelisk, is that how you say it? Obelisk or obelisk from Egypt. They found one of those under there too. There was a lot of stuff found underneath there. And it used to be used during the Civil War for a train tunnel and everything too. But when they started finding out all these different rooms and everything and all that kind of stuff, that's when they sealed it all off. So now why would they seal it off unless it was something they don't want us to know?
Yeah, maybe possibly. Anything's possible. And where is this in Kentucky? Where in Kentucky?
It's Kentucky and Georgia. It's called Lookout Mountain.
Oh, that's where you were, kind of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's a falls that's underground over there. But it's a huge thing, And so when we were talking about I think I can. He unmuted himself. I can't unmute.
Mark,
all right,
Mark put wormhole topic. Did the Dems hijack George's microphone? That's a good one.
Yeah.
You shut it off because of the background noise.
Yeah, but if you want, I'll play that clip about the caves. I won't play the whole thing, but I'll play it, and it talks about the guy coming out of the tunnel and stuff. Hang on a second. Yeah.
Of 1931, Eastern Kentucky. A man named Howard Ratcliffe is standing at the mouth of a hole that a drilling crew from a small coal company out of Hazard punched through by accident a week earlier, and for him this is just another morning, another hole, another cave under the Cumberland Ridge that needs to be put on paper so somebody in an office can check a box and move on. He is 42 years old, and 2 years ago he was a railroad engineer with a steady paycheck. But then the market collapsed, and the railroad closed, and Ratcliffe ended up where thousands of men in eastern Kentucky ended up in 1931, which is nowhere, with nothing, except one skill that still had a buyer. He could walk underground. Not just descend and come back up, but feel the rock, read it, understand where the air pulled wrong, where the ceiling was holding on by suggestion alone. And the old-timers in Hazard would say 30 years later that Ratcliffe read stone the way other men read a newspaper. On that morning the job was as simple as it gets. A side passage, 1/4 of a mile, the drillers said it dead-ended. The company just needed a signature on a chart. He went down at 9 in the morning with a carbide lamp, a roll of paper, and a pencil, and they expected him back by 4. 4 o'clock came, and he was not there. 5 came, midnight came, dawn came, and nobody went down after him, because this was Ratcliffe. He always came back. And he did come back, at 4 in the afternoon the next day, 31 hours after he went in, with a dead lamp and paper covered edge to edge in markings, unhurt, not delirious, but with the face of a man who had seen something that his entire life had not prepared him for. The foreman walked over and asked what happened, and Ratcliffe said one sentence that the foreman wrote into the company daybook that same day, word for word. There are rooms down there. They are lit, and they are not ours. Within 6 months the passage was sealed with concrete. Within a year the coal company no longer existed, and the map Ratcliffe drew during those 31 hours underground has never been seen by anyone outside of a single family in Breathitt County who will not let it be photographed. If this video disappears from your feed or gets hit with a guideline strike, subscribe right now so you can find your way back to this channel when it happens. The Cumberland Plateau sits on top of some of the most complex cave geology in the Western Hemisphere. Layer after layer of limestone and sandstone folded over each other across hundreds of millions of years, riddled with passages that water carved long before anything with lungs existed on the surface. The official count of documented caves in Kentucky is north of 4,000, and the real number is probably 3 times that, because every time a coal crew punches through a seam wall, they find another one nobody has mapped. Most are ordinary, narrow, wet, cold, full of breakdown rock and dead air. Ratcliffe had surveyed hundreds of them since he started picking up cave work in the late 20s, and none of them had ever given him a reason to stay underground longer than a shift. But the passage the Hazard crew opened was different from the first step. The drillers had said it dead-ended after a 1/4 mile, and maybe for them it did, because the passage narrowed at about that distance to a gap that a large man in mining gear would not fit through. Ratcliffe was 5'7", built like a fence post, and he had spent enough years folding himself into spaces other men walked away from that the gap barely slowed him down. He squeezed through, and on the other side the passage opened again, but it was not the same passage. The walls changed. The rough, fractured surface of a natural limestone cave gave way to something Ratcliffe described on his map with a single word that the geologist who later read it said made the hair on his arms stand up. The word was cut. Clean, flat surfaces meeting at right angles, a corridor roughly 8 feet wide and 9 feet tall, running dead straight with no curve, no deviation, no natural feature anywhere. The temperature, which should have been dropping the deeper he went, was climbing. And the air, which in a dead-end passage should have been stale and thin, was moving, a steady current carrying heat from somewhere ahead of him, as if the corridor itself were exhaling. Ratcliffe kept walking. The corridor ran straight for what his pacing measured at roughly 1,100 feet, and then it opened into the first room. He had been underground almost 4 hours by that point, well past anything the coal company knew about, and when he stepped into that chamber, the carbide lamp in his hand became unnecessary. The room was lit. Not bright, not like daylight, but a steady ambient glow that seemed to radiate from the walls themselves, as if the stone had been soaked in some slow, permanent light that had no source and cast no shadow. He turned off his lamp to make sure he was not fooling himself. The room stayed lit. The chamber was circular, roughly 50 feet from wall to wall, with a domed ceiling that rose to maybe 25 feet at its centre. The floor was level and smooth, finished with the same deliberate precision as the corridor, laid down by hands that expected it to be walked on. Around the perimeter, set into the walls at even intervals, were alcoves, each about 3 feet wide and 5 feet tall, recessed into the stone like display cases in a museum, and inside each one sat a single object. He kept his hands at his sides. He described the objects later as shapes he had no reference for, not tools, not pottery, not anything that belonged to any culture he had ever read about or been told of. Some had the sheen of metal, some the weight of carved stone, and one, in an alcove directly across from the entrance, appeared to be made of something like glass, except that it radiated a faint heat he could feel on his face from 3 feet away, and inside it something was suspended that bent the glow around it in a way that no glass he had ever seen could do. The room was not alone. On the far side, another corridor led deeper, identical to the first, and at the end of it was a second chamber with its own alcoves and its own objects. And beyond that, another passage, another room. Ratcliffe followed the chain for what he estimated was 3 hours, mapping as he went, counting chambers, sketching each alcove, and with every room the glow from the stone intensified, the heat in the air thickened, and the conviction grew in him that he was not walking through something abandoned, but moving closer to something that was still running. The 7th chamber broke the...
That was part 1 of that one. But what I thought was so interesting about it, why I originally had it for Wormhole, was because we were talking about the moon people. When we were talking about Lookout Mountain and the Appalachian people saying about moon people, they were pale with the big eyes and all that. Who would go underground and have the technology to have stone that basically kind of glowed, or I guess is what you'd say? You know, it's just really, really strange.
Very strange.
Yeah, well, I thought it was really strange. I mean, shapes he had never seen before, alcoves cut out in there. Who would do that prior to 1931 that would have tools that would be capable of cutting that granite and all that kind of stuff? I mean, it would have to have been people from a previous time. We didn't have the technology to do that.
Yeah, well, why when we? Oh wait, why when I'm going to shut my PC off?
Okay.
I'm going to turn it back on.
All right. But I mean, you wonder about that kind of stuff because remember we were talking about the stuff in whatchamacallit, the Grand Canyon and everything too, where there were caverns over there and there were Egyptian artifacts and everything. I think the history that they teach us isn't right. I think that there was civilization before us, and it ties into Tartaria too. Was there a mud flood? What happened that there was underground things and everything like that where people were using them?
Well, because it's weird that they sealed those caverns off that you can't get in now. You know, where you have, you know, I mean, can you imagine like the pictures you can get today with the cell phones, the videos of all that, and walk through there versus back in the 30s?
Yeah. Yeah, with the technology. Yeah, that's why I'm saying, and the family that saw that map, if that guy came out and said he saw things that he had no idea and they hadn't seen, and it was by accident. I mean, there's a lot to it. Now, there's stories with the United States military, and they have underground bases. They're called DUMBs, deep underground military bases. I've got a map that goes back, I think, to 1985, and it maps where each underground base is. What if we might have not made those bases. Our government could have found them doing exploring and ended up utilizing them. And then if they did that, what kind of tech did they find down there? Because there's the same talk about Greenland having the same thing. Supposedly there's a train system that runs through tunnels underground all the way from the West Coast to the East Coast, where you can make it across the country like in 20 minutes.
Wait, where's the tunnel? Where is this tunnel?
It's underground here in the United States. They're connected by DUMBs, deep underground military bases, and the train runs from the East Coast to the West Coast, and that's how they supposedly this is how they move nuclear munitions and stuff like that instead of on the surface. So they do it underground. The map I have, like I said, was from 1985. I don't know what it would look like now, because back then, even if you go back into the 70s, we had technology to do stuff like that. But that's what I wondered. All these tunnels and stuff like that, especially like that kind of stuff, our government would use it for military purposes and not let anybody know about it because they wouldn't want anybody using it. Yeah, see, Nuts said she saw the same map. There's videos of soldiers driving through the DUMBs 100 miles an hour and coming out at another base in another state. Yeah. Especially in Indiana. This goes back 2 years ago. There was a bunch of rumbling and everything, and it sounded like something was getting blown up underground.
Knowing from what my son says with these military vehicles, they don't go 100 miles an hour. You're lucky. You're lucky if you get them to go 20 miles an hour because they're always breaking down. So that's
yeah, we saw that.
Yeah.
Can you hear me all right this way?
Yeah, now you sound good.
Yeah, you sound a lot better. So it could have been a glitch in your computer. But all that stuff, like in Kentucky, all you see is Mammoth Cave. You see all these caves and everything. They got to go somewhere. So, it was underground water made them. But then when you see ones like that have smooth floors, cut stone and everything,
Here's a great question, right? Why when we rode through all these mountains, we went all the way around, not through them, right? The ones that you said look like covering of pyramids. We didn't go to those mountains. We went all the way around. I'm talking about S-turns, all the way around. I'm talking about it was 10 miles more of turns compared to just going straight.
Yeah,
and the reason why they avoided it.
And they've blown up mountains and cut paths and everything going through the western. Over here, no, because they look exactly like pyramids. How does a rock, okay, let's say for argument's sake, all right, you had an earthquake, the plate shifted or whatever. So that's how you get a mountain range. They clash together and come up this way. How are you going to get one single mountain that looks like this with nothing else around it? And it's covered in trees. They look just like pyramids.
Yep. Well, there's pyramids along the Mississippi River, right? We said that the last time.
Yeah, the pyramids along the Mississippi River.
Where's there pyramids along the Mississippi River?
Well, not far from the bridge. There's a big. I think there was like 6 or 7 of them. Put them there.
So you figure if America, okay, how did they teach you in school that all the plates shifted away from each other? But at one point the continent was one big continent. So it could be ancient enough that stuff was all built. That's why you find Egyptian stuff over here, is because they didn't have to travel over the ocean. Everything was still put together at that point. See what I'm saying? Because in school, when you look at the continents, they'll tell you, a little kid, I did it as a kid. You look at them, they look like puzzle pieces. It should all
like a big puzzle.
No, we were saying the other night.
And they would say no, that it never was like that. But now they're saying, it was called Pangea when it was all together like that. So I think that's where a lot of that stuff came. My opinion is that there was a civilization that was totally wiped out that was way more advanced than us and did all that stuff.
You never know. You never know. I mean, maybe, the more stuff with the UFO files that keep on popping out and whatever. I mean, we haven't seen anything, really, enlightening yet with these UFO files, but I don't know.
Oh, I've seen stuff, but you can't tell whether it's true or not. That's the thing. I saw one where it was supposedly an alien, and they were basically torturing it, and it came out of Russia, and the thing didn't live. I hated even watching it because of what they did, but it's just horrible, some of the stuff people do. But anyways, I digress. To go back to the caves and everything like that. So with all those cave systems and everything, there's one. Somebody in the chat will know if I'm right. I'm going to say Derinkuyu. I think that's in Turkey, where it's all underground, and they dated it to like 32,000 years ago. And there was enough room for an entire city to be underground. They showed where there was like area, like a barn area for cattle and stuff like that. And they were saying, like, what would the reason be that everybody would have to move underground and live under there? And there was proof they were living under there because they found like vats that had made wine and all this other kind of stuff, but they didn't have the technology to build those caves and everything at that time. They didn't have blasting dynamite. They didn't have any of that stuff. So how did they do it? And it's the same thing with these caves here in Kentucky and going into, Georgia and everything too. It's just massive cave system. But when you have it formed like that, who did it?
Well, yeah, especially if it's back in that time, you didn't have the heavy equipment. You didn't have the dynamite, like you're saying. I mean, when did dynamite get invented? Let's see.
Mm-hmm. And you'd have to have, precision cutting tools to cut granite into square, to have square shapes. How would you get the floor flat like that and everything? There's a lot of questions to it. And when you're growing up, you don't think about it so much. But when you get older, it's like, what the heck? But
dynamite was invented in 1867
mm-hmm.
by a Swedish chemist and engineer, Alfred Nobel. So, yeah, I think this is way before 1867 of what you're talking about. So,
oh yeah, the one I'm talking about in Turkey, they even did a whole special on ancient aliens about it because they couldn't figure out how it was formed, and as far back when they did the dating on it and everything to even get the people under there, and then why would they go through so much trouble and everything like that to go underground? Because it's not going to take a day or two to build that. Whatever was coming or why they went underground, they had a way advanced warning to be able to prepare to do that. So I don't know. I think the history of the United States isn't what we're taught is kind of where I'm going with this, especially with that kind of stuff. Just like the Indians, they said they were indigenous. No, now they're showing that they came over from Asia, when the Bering Strait and everything was all together.
Yeah, you got to wonder what the plates move things around, and you got to wonder what could have happened back then.
Mm-hmm. I know. And what records didn't survive, or they didn't have the way to record it. I don't know. I would love to find out about the ones in Kentucky and stuff, though, because they have the regular tours. But what was the purpose of sealing up part of Lookout Mountain? What was the purpose of sealing up that cave in Hazard County and everything? It's because they don't want you to know what's in there. But why?
Boss Hogg did that one in Hazard County.
Yeah,
that's Luke Duke. We're running a moonshine ring out of there. And Uncle Jesse. No, but that's interesting. What they're going to tell you, though. They're going to tell you they sealed them up because they didn't want people going in and getting injured. That will be old. We did it for safety reasons.
Yeah, liability issue for the company that owned it. Yeah.
We did it for safety or liability issues.
Yeah. Which I think is totally bullshit myself. But that kind of stuff to me is interesting because it's always going to be a question. We won't ever have an answer from anybody. So it makes a good subject to kick around because you can do so many different scenarios on why that would happen. But I really want to know who did it.
I just think it's a really exact easy question to say, like, when you're talking so long ago, you didn't have the materials to cut through rock and do all that stuff. So yeah, how did it happen? There's just like the pyramids. How did the pyramids get built? You didn't have cranes. You didn't have. They say slaves. Okay, well, slaves, they weren't lifting huge rocks up like that, and and going up, real high in the air and all. So I don't know. It's good stuff to ask. That's for sure.
Yeah, and if you stop asking questions, that's how people get dumb. So you always have to.
That's why I question everything. I try to stay smart.
Yeah, you're always. Yeah.
Where's my gopher at?
Your go. Oh yeah. I got comments on the side here.
Yep. So there's no dunce hat on that gopher. See?
No, but I don't know. The cave system is just, I think, is really fascinating, especially when since it goes all across the country. I mean, like we were saying, like I just lost my words.
The cave system goes all across the country.
The Grand Canyon. That's what I wanted to say. Oh, okay. In the Grand Canyon, because that stuff is all documented and everything.
Yeah. There's a photo of the pyramids along the Mississippi. There's one in Tennessee also. Yeah. That's it.
That's an old map that somebody drew too, isn't it?
No, that's that's the Mississippi River right there. I was getting a new one, but a whole bunch of them are all around the United States. Research.
Yeah, they are. They won't tell you that, but yeah, they're all over the place. But that's like we were saying, on the ride, you look at some of them and it's like, that's a pyramid. It's not, it's a single solitary structure off by itself. It's not just one little mountain that popped up all by itself, and they're in Mexico too. They've used, what is that stuff where they can go like deep underground radar, penetrating radar. They've used that and gone over and found pyramids and stuff that were buried that they've just been discovering in the last 20 years, because they're covered with vegetation and everything. So, unless you're looking for it, it's been, was there a mud flood where the dirt went up half of it that they didn't even know it was there? Something really bad catastrophically happened at some point.
It was known the no shit water. When we got flooded.
Yeah. Well, the mud flood, that's been the story for a long time, and it makes a lot of sense.
Here's a pyramid on the Mississippi River.
Oh, I know what you're doing.
Elvis Presley?
No, here you go. It's Bass Pro Shops.
Yeah, I know where you were going with that one.
That's funny.
Oh, yeah, but I don't know. There's so much we need to question because we've been lied to all our lives.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we got shown.
That's why I question everything. That's right. I'm like,
here's another one for you. Check this one out.
The teacher used to say, George, every time I was in class and the teacher was talking, I'd go like this.
Yeah.
She'd go, oh, you again.
Oh, were you little Johnny?
No, I wasn't little Johnny, but I used to say
all those jokes about little Johnny.
Check this one out.
That's a real old one too.
Yeah, but look. Well, this shows Mexico, and look.
Yeah, but look at where the Grand Canyon is.
Right? Isn't there pyramids in Mexico somewhere?
Oh yeah.
The Aztecs made them.
They say the Aztecs made them, but I don't know. Yeah. I don't believe that.
Well, maybe the same people who did Egypt. Maybe they did them.
I don't see that.
I don't know what the hell's going on in chat. They're talking about dwarf tossing. I don't know what the hell's insider. Florida for Trump. I worked for the attorney who defended the dwarf in the dwarf tossing lawsuit. It was the dwarf's way of living, and he liked it. Never asked for the advocacy. Not that. Hopefully, he wasn't tossed in a pyramid.
Yeah. See, if they prove all the stuff, it's gonna mess up a lot of people in the head.
Well, look at every civilization has a flood story. There's the one from Gilgamesh, there's the one in the Bible, and then there's the Sumerian one too. And it's all the same. They say the same exact thing, but it's just different characters in the story. So Gilgamesh, I think, would have been the one of probably, well, Gilgamesh might have been the oldest one. So if all that stuff is true, then maybe our Earth has a cataclysm every so many years, and that's what happens once you get the earthquakes, the mud comes up and floods everything out. Because look at some of the buildings. Why don't we build buildings like they did in the 1800s, where they did, like in Washington? You know what I'm talking about, with the columns and the marble and everything? Why did they stop doing that? Why did they go to buildings that look like shit? Why don't they build like that anymore?
What about the churches?
What was that? That was it was more of a Greek style, Roman style type of buildings or whatever. That was like what they did. But
they started, well, the Greeks first started it, then it brought it to Rome and stuff like that, because Greece conquered Italy. That's why there's a lot of names in like Naples is supposed to be Neapolis. The Greeks named that. That's what their first name of the town was.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just think all that stuff is interesting because it was such a beautiful building style, and now they look at Obama's presidential library. It looks like a garbage can. I mean, why would you build something that ugly if we're capable of beautiful architecture? Why wouldn't you want to see the pretty stuff? Why would you build something that's built, well, I know for function, but still, why is it so ugly? Even the stuff, all the red brick buildings that supposedly go with Tartaria, like you see them downtown, when you go into older cities and stuff like that. Oklahoma has them and everything. They're all the same red brick. They're all the same style, like the old courthouse. They're all domed. There was one we've seen with the copper dome. Oh, when was it? I can't remember when. It was somewhere we were riding, and it was a real old building that still had the copper dome on it, that we were talking about.
We were going through a city.
Yeah. And because they
trying to think what it was. No.
I can't remember either. But now it's everything is ugly. It's just square and ugly. You don't see any pretty buildings like they used to do. And I just thought it was strange. What, did they lose the capability of doing it?
Safe travels, brother.
I don't think they lost the capability. Maybe it's in construction costs too. I mean, a lot of this stuff costs money. I mean, maybe it's to slim down on costs of construction as well.
Yeah, but look, stop and think about this one. The Lincoln Memorial was built in the middle of a damn swamp. There were no roads there. There was nothing, right? So how did they build that in the 1850s without being able to transport all that heavy marble through the swamp? How did they do that? Yeah, they might have floated it, but helicopter, yeah. But if you see pictures of there is some photographs out there of them building the Lincoln Memorial, but you never see them building it. What you see is a few people standing like in the swampy area, and that thing is in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing around it at all. There's lots of pictures like that of different cities and everything too, where there's nothing around it, but it's just sitting there, and it's one of those type of buildings. I don't know if anybody has any thoughts on that one.
I don't know.
I don't know either, but I'd like to.
That's it. Craig Medley came out with something nice.
I'm looking for pictures.
It looks like the Mega Cube. You know the one in Mega in Saudi where Muhammad is. Mecca. It's shaped like the Mega Cube.
What is?
The only photos I just looked for photos of building the Lincoln Memorial. I found this, but it's already kind of up.
Yeah, but look underneath. See, you can see underneath where it looks like there was something under there before they did that. I know they have to shore it up, but how did they do that in the middle of a swamp?
Oh, underneath there. Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Here's another one here.
Yeah, look at there's nothing around it.
This looks like it could be swampy type of stuff here.
Mm-hmm. How do you do that? How do they?
Look at the basement. Look at the basement or the foundation to it. Look down here.
Mm-hmm. How did they get all that stuff out there? I mean, it's not, you know, you don't have, it doesn't look like there's roads. I've seen ones that are worse than that, but, you know, so you wonder, like so many buildings where they built on top of a platform of another building, you know, and if you look at official sources, they're going to show you what they want to show you. They're not going to show you the stuff that makes you question it.
Yeah, we saw that. They only use blank contracts when they were building the thing.
Yeah, but look at the cathedrals. Back in the 1500s, they had the capability to do that kind of stuff, where they knew the acoustics were going to be, you know, 1,000% on. Even the Capitol building, if you stand, there's a medallion in the middle of the floor. And if you stand by that medallion and you whisper, it goes up into the dome and all the way to the other side, and people on the other side of the dome can hear exactly what you said. So how would they know the acoustics? You smart ass. How would they know the acoustics would work like though if everything was so backwards back then?
Yeah.
It's interesting to me because it's not just the Capitol building that does that. There's other buildings that do that too. But
yeah, I just saw a video of a building. I think it's in New York. I think it was the train station, maybe somewhere. There's a whole room. If you go over to the side, you whisper up the wall, it will go all the way around.
Even what do you call it? Rome?
What, George?
In Rome, in the St. Peter's Church, they go up. You go up on a bridge all the way around. You could talk from one side of the wall and you listen to the other side. My uncle showed me that. I was like shocked. Just put your ear against the wall. They have all the tunnels that go through it. Wait, smoke.
no, it's my vape. It's water vapor. But yeah. I don't know. There's so many things like that with the buildings though. But the tunnels and the caves are what get me because nobody had the technology when those were supposedly built to do that by what we were told. So
absolutely. No, that's absolutely. I just go back to the pyramids. I question the pyramids. How were they built? How did they build them?
Mm-hmm. The cathedrals are the ones that get me because what kind of scaffolding did they use at that point to get that high up in the air with the heavy materials to even do it?
Yeah. Probably they had giants and stuff, right?
That's what they say because when you look at the doors aren't built for normal sized people. You know, they're built for. Why would you have, you know, a 25-foot door? It's a
24-foot person was going to go through it, maybe.
Well, then that goes back to the mounds in Kentucky where they found all the giant skeletons at this, you know, and that the Smithsonian doesn't have them for display. There was the one guy that found, I can't remember the guy's name, but he found them, sent them to the Smithsonian, went to the Smithsonian and was going to work on them. And they said they had no idea what he was talking about. And all this stuff is documented. You can find it online. The guy worked for National Geographic back then. And that was the same. And that's how they found the stuff in the Grand Canyon. Was through that. And then as soon as they found that in the Grand Canyon, they closed that whole section off. So you can't even go explore there or anything anymore. I don't know. Yeah, natural acoustics. Yeah. I know that. But how did they know is my question. You know, because if you listen to the Bible and they say the Watchers came down and taught man metallurgy and pharmacology and all the stuff that we weren't supposed to.
Well, I said they had already found
various U.S. mound sites, 1800s to early 1900s, workmen digging cellars, farms, or roads in places like Ohio, Indiana, and New York, which is weird. Why would they put New York? Often reported 7 to 9 foot skeletons in Native American burial grounds. Examples of finds created to people like Heslop Powell, Alabama, 1876, or amateur excavators like Ralph Glidden on Catalina Island, 1920s, claiming up to 9+ feet.
Mm-hmm. And there's bigger ones. There's ones that were 13 foot tall, you know. So was this ancient people? That the oxygen saturation was so much more that people were able to grow bigger? Or was this a whole different species of person, of human?
Yeah.
You know, 'cause I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I thought that's a little bit of something to bring up on Wormhole. Make you question everything. Question everything, because don't believe anything everybody tells you right off the bat.
That's what I'm saying. That's what, and you guys make fun of me for it. You guys bully me. You guys bully me by when it's like this. You're bullying me. Make.
Oh.
I think that's the problem. I think enough people don't question things anymore. Like they just, even look at social media. People share shit so quick, and they don't even look at it, and they just boom. Like this $300 billion, right? There's people on social media spreading that we're giving $300 billion to Iran. That's not happening. Trump didn't even come out with the actual whatever the deal is yet. Now I don't trust the Iranians. I don't think there'll ever be a deal. Honestly,
I agree 100%. Yep.
But people are online right now saying things that we're giving $300 billion, and we got had, and we had we got played. This
is all Alex Jones.
No, I'm reading Mark's comment about Sean. I'm sorry, I got to say it. Sean has battered contributor syndrome.
BCS. That's funny, Mark. Mark gets some. Mark's good. I'll tell you what. He does some good stuff.
Mark's probably sitting there today. Waffles, and he's pouring back a couple beers on the way, and he comes up with all the good stuff.
But real quick, my point though is, like, people are commenting on this $300 billion like it's going to be U.S. taxpayer money. They don't even know the whole story, and they're putting posts out there. I must have commented on like 4 different posts of people. I'm like, why don't you just wait till Friday when the announcement comes out? And once the announcement comes out, if you don't like it, then you can fucking comment. But you're pushing all this stuff around.
Alex Jones is Alex Jones, a big part of it. Tucker's a big part of it. They just keep on going back and forth, and that's a big problem. It's these podcasts that my source, my source, and my source, my source. That's what they kept on saying, and it's all bullshit sources, because the only one that could be possible about them getting money from Iran is if they want to do rebuilding, if they agree to the agreement that the other Muslim countries will donate money to them to rebuild and restructure. Yeah. But the only thing what are they going to rebuild? Most of the stuff they're rebuilding is all the military shit. That's why they lost money. Trump, they didn't attack the civilians and stuff. They took out a bridge.
Trump refrained from that. Yeah, it's just funny. Some of these people hear a little bit of leaked stuff. You gotta wonder where it comes from, and then they go, they go hell's earth on it and just keep on regurgitating it out there. It's sad. It's sad.
Take care, Mark. Have a good day. Mark's leaving.
Mark's leaving. Mark's heading out.
Yeah.
Where's he going today? Was he
herding
cats? Is he going golfing? What's he doing?
But that's it. Better have an opinion like this.
I don't know what he's doing today. He didn't say. I don't know.
Yeah, the whole thing is that the information that's out there, a lot of it's so false. Like, there's a Chinese guy that's on there, and he's from China. And he's talking about how great he is and everything else. And he's talking about how Iran hit back the aircraft carrier and stuff like that. It was all bullshit. They would have said if we got hit, like they said when the plane crashed. They had no problem about that. The helicopter went down. They announced that. They didn't say nothing about that.
Right, Trixie, you put in the chat, I question everything. I was gonna reply. Even when I question something, she questions my question.
Yeah. No, I think too much. My head just goes off into all different directions and everything. But that's why I always question about like the history that's being taught, because I don't believe all of it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff coming out about Fauci about the amount of money he paid people. So we'll stay tuned for that one. That's going to be good.
He needs Fauci.
I want to see accountability to that guy.
Well, I think there's going to be some people. There's going to be some stuff coming. That's what I was told. Yeah. My sauce, the tomato sauce I got. That's what I was told.
Is it gravy or sauce?
I don't know. Depends. Well, there's a big story about that. You know about the Italians with the gravy and the sauce. This is when the Italians came here. Well, the Italians came here, right? They used to make. They only made a couple of sauces. They didn't make, but they said the sauce and the gravy. They made the gravy word easier because the Americans were using gravy like for the gravy for the mashed potatoes and all that stuff that they called the gravy from the when you make the steak and stuff that came out and turkey and everything else. So that's why they made the word so easy. But it's all sauce. The meat sauce is ragu sauce. So this that's with meat. Then they got a whole bunch of different
ragu.
Ragu.
Well, it's great taking all the stuff for the food.
Speaking of ragu, you guys got a ragu out of here. You guys got to get on the road, don't you?
No, I changed. I ain't going home tonight.
No.
Bad by my house tonight. They got all that, the tornadoes and everything. I'm right in the big hatched area and everything. So chances are I'd get canceled out and everything anyways.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's good.
Well, otherwise I'd be driving home from Indianapolis too in the rain and all that bad storms. And they're talking, EF3s, 2-inch hail, 80-mile-an-hour winds. I don't think I really want to drive in the dark in that.
No, that's
Take care, citizen. How you doing, brother? How you doing?
Well, everybody have a good day.
Yeah, enjoy.
We'll be back tomorrow. Pastor Jack will be with us tomorrow, and then we have Whiskey Friday. So
yeah, I'm going to charge my pods.
Yeah, you need those when you're in a hotel or whatever like that. You need those AirPods because they cancel out a lot of stuff in the background.
Okay, everybody. So we'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, as long as we don't have the great flood coming tomorrow.
Yeah,
the other guy's riding. That other biker's riding. He's riding to the cemetery in Bushman.
Wow.
Rode up for 75. It's like 3 hours. He said it's going to be clear, but he's got nice rain gear.
All right. Well, we'll see. We're going to raid Mike Schwartz's show, and they're saying Trump is doing a press conference at 4
o'clock. No, it's 4 o'clock. I think.
He said another one in 45 minutes.
Trooper just said 45 minutes. Somebody else, I think it was Insider, said 10 o'clock. So, I don't know.
Probably doing a couple then today, huh?
Well, maybe he's doing at 10 o'clock to calm down all the rumors about the $300 million that he was paying out of money.
Well, he put a post out this morning. I guess something with the Republicans, with Pulte, how they got rid of Pulte. They made a deal with the Democrats, and then the Democrats pulled away on something. And he pretty much said if this FISA bill comes to his desk and it doesn't have the Save America Act attached to it, he ain't signing it. So,
yep.
All right. Well, we will see everybody tomorrow. Have a good one.
Have a good one, everybody. Ciao.
Yep. Have a good one. Ciao, ciao, ciao. Ciao, ciao, Bobby.
Ciao, ciao.
Well, she's flying out of Medusa.
Oh, a little Soprano stuff.
Yeah, a little bit of Sopranos. Why not? Something different. It's not as loud, though, I don't think.
I'll be up in their area tomorrow.
Oh.
Where the house is.
I would go, if I lived up there, I'd go take a picture of myself in front of the house with a newspaper and a robe. I love that show. It was too good.
Yeah, go walk around the property with a robe on.
Yeah. Well, head on over to Mike Schwartz, everybody. I'm signing off.
And tell him I said I seen him.
Don't forget thumbs up.
Tell him I seen him.
Thumbs up, please.
Not that many.
Is Red Trigger raiding the show?
I don't know. I was watching for the raid.
I don't see them.
Dancing banana.
Yeah, that's funny.
Well, we'll have a great show.